Hello everybody, welcome back to Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 69, not my problem. In line with most of my critiques, this one's going to be another really professional one. Ooh, lower back's a little sore. I sneezed the other day and aggravated my back again. So, still hoping I don't have to walk like a 70-year-old at 28 for the rest of my life. Still do some exercise videos at some point. But can't forget my wonderful hat for today. But again, talking points, just a lot of responding to other podcasts, just things I've written down from the news, and then maybe some stories were applicable. First thing I wanted to talk about, I just got my COVID booster yesterday. Got the Moderna one. I felt probably felt like 85% this morning. Again, just very, very light body aches. And then I'm probably about 95% now. It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. So, for just anyone curious, on a personal level, I had very, very slight body fatigue for my COVID booster. But the first thing I wanted to talk about is, again, people changing words. Like, I literally wanted to go get my COVID booster, so I type in booster. The word booster doesn't really mean anything scientific. How much milliliters per microgram of solution are you putting in my bloodstream? What's the antibody reaction? So, I forget where I went. I first tried, I think, I got it from CVS, just a pharmacy in America. But I forget where else I tried. I maybe tried Walmart or something, but it wasn't like, no, it was Giant Eagle. I got my first two at Giant Eagle, and then I go into the pharmacy, they can get a booster. You had to make appointments now, so that's kind of interesting. Why the fuck was it way more readily available when there was less availability of the actual vaccine? But you had to make an appointment online, so again, it took me about 4 days to get it. But when I'm looking at the Giant Eagle thing, it keeps saying booster like it's some different thing, and I can't tell. It's just like, is it a third dose? Is it the exact same as the second dose? Just be consistent. Like, how fucking hard is it to be fucking consistent? Dr. Anthony Fauci, I represent science. No, you fucking don't. You represent fraud. And you're just too old and stupid to ever fucking accept that. Then we see Brad with a wig on and a bulletproof. For anyone wondering, this is just like a Party City joke fucking vest. But then you see me talking like this, you change words, you make it completely stagnate the society fucking completely, and say you represent science. Dr. Fauci, go to fucking prison. You're an absolute goddamn fucking criminal. Again, for not including me in these decisions, you and Francis Collins are fucking retarded. You're not good human beings, you're not good people. You haven't contributed anything to this world. You're gonna say, I represent science. I am science, so you don't represent me. But the made me furious again. Just like, stop calling shit that's not unique different words. Again, I still to this minute, I think it was like half the potency of the second dose, and I probably had about 12 hours of probably like 4 or 5 out of 10 body aches and fatigue after the second dose of Moderna. But just again, people just making up false distinctions, calling new words, and the net result is confusion. That's good stuff. There's 95% of Democrats are vaccinated, while 54% of Republicans are vaccinated. And then you have another jungle fuck from the wonderful and lovely intellectual scientists Brett Weinstein and Heather Hang. Brett Weinstein says the vaccines just don't work in his most recent podcast, because again he's got to feel relevant, he's got to speak out loud, and he has no competence whatsoever. So again, you have to remember where these people come from. They're kind of academics, they have no economic understanding, so their values are basically like, we're Democrats until we realize, and again, I fucking hate all political classes. If you have to call yourself a political party, you're fucking retarded and you can't prove shit, and you can't. But they're Democrats when they're growing up in grad school, justice for all, then they grow up again like when they're like 35 or 45 and they get the maturity of like what a normal 15-year-old should have. Then they start after dealing with money and budgeting for their family and doing all this shit, but they're still incompetent, so now their values kind of shift more conservative, or at least fiscally conservative, or libertarian. But this is just defiance. Brett Weinstein, you are one of the 54% Republicans that are, it just don't work. Oh, don't tell me what to do. I'm such a good person. The Heather Hang in this episode, I think it was 109, I don't know, just look at the times if you give a fuck. But don't support their businesses, please. I don't know how the fuck you guys get sponsors. You're literally anti-vax and spreading it. So, it's good stuff. And from biologists, again, public biologists with 400,000 subscribers on YouTube. But speaking across many disciplines is intimidating. This is a scientific proof. Forget me. If somebody else could demonstrate this amount of logic, it would be irrelevant to them. I am not intimidating. Science is intimidating. Right, Dr. Fauci? You represent the science. The thing that intimidates people is that these are proofs. Come talk to me in person one time, I'll just say a theorem, and you'll get so much logic behind it that you don't get it. That's the fucking point of a difference. But again, remember, these are the actual tenured professors. They're the 1%. They're the Eric Weinstein's little brother, and they're all academics and shit, and they're not. They're just not. But again, I am not intimidating. The amount of science I present is intimidating because you guys are illiterate. You're literally fucking illiterate. Ones with the letters, Heather, and all the bullshit that comes out of your mouth is just fraud. So that was a good one. I watched the Impulsive podcast. I think that's Logan Paul. I think Logan's the older one, Jake's the younger one, with Ben Shapiro and Mr. Beast. So I thought it'd be a good exercise. Again, we've absolutely been destroying Ben Shapiro with facts, logic, and his own hypocrisy. Again, he thinks he's a libertarian, thinks he's a religious person, thinks he's fiscally conservative, thinks he's educated, thinks he's a lawyer. Nah, just a political fraud. But I thought it'd be fun to go watch. Again, I've been doing this shit. Every single person of any relevance in academia has known about this since late 2016, 2017. So I thought it'd be interesting to go back and watch an old Ben Shapiro, certainly after he's been a writhing hypocrite his entire life. So this podcast is from September 9th, 2019. And again, it's just Logan Paul interviewing Ben Shapiro about his completely hypocritical value system. But the first quote I've written down, he's just talking about he's talking about, how Thomas Jefferson owned slaves. He was a terrible fucking idiot. Complete hypocrite as well. I've ripped on Thomas Jefferson quite a bit, or at least Abraham Lincoln, more so than Thomas Jefferson. I don't think I've said too much about him. I'm certainly ripped on Alexander Hamilton quite a bit. Can never not say that. He's the worst writer I've ever read. But Ben Shapiro said very emphatically as like a gotcha, another gotcha. You are not smarter than Thomas Jefferson, an actual religious person. I think I am. I think so. But that's not my point. My point is this is how science stagnates society. This type of mentality. You can't be smarter than somebody that you have never interacted with personally from like 300, 200 years ago. So again, I couldn't go to school as a paying student in physics, doing physics, proving physics, and it still went into denial, just complete denial. You are not smarter than Thomas Jefferson. Fuck you, Ben. And I said, this is why I couldn't go to school. Like, and again, I'm 28, and I'm talking ever. Go to a physical building, sit down, yes. Do research, no, because of mentalities like this. And then he says, talk about a lot of social issues. He talks about he would reject making a gay pride parade because of religious reasons. And again, Judaism is substantially differentiated from Jesus or Catholicism or God. And God gets respect out of it. He's clearly leaps and bounds smarter than everybody else. But what's the second commandment, Ben? Thou shalt not use, again, more directly, I forget the actual translations, no violating the word of God. No speaking in vain about God doesn't mean saying, oh my God. It means speaking against biological law. That is what that means. So when you say I would reject making a gay pride cake, and a businessman Ben, again, do whatever the fuck you want, it's just 100% bad business practice. So I'm sure if you could, I had to put the microphone down and go start an actual business that isn't just talking political bullshit. You would be out of business in like 5 fucking seconds. But you are not a religious person, Ben. You are not speaking against the word of God and calling it politics, or calling it incorrect interpretation of the Bible or what the Torah, or whatever the fuck you think you learned. Is again as heretical and blasphemous as possibly could occur. And again, this is a historical proof. No scholar has ever articulated exactly why the Old Testament and the New Testament are different, and still because they're about different people. And it's the most obvious historical proof fucking ever. How hard would it be to say that? But again, right, if you said 9/11 didn't happen, people would call you a history denier. If you'd said the Holocaust didn't happen, which people did, and probably still do, you're a scientific denier. This has nothing to do with religion. Like, literally nothing. That word means nothing to me. Religion comes from weird people. The Bible comes from people writing about these big figures, not being these big figures. And so, very, very literally, the most in any sort of historical or religious context, this is heretical against. Don't speak against the word God. So good job, Ben, an actual religious person. Maybe a story about that at the end. But then he also says, I too am a human being, and I just have LOL. Again, this is the funniest shit ever. It's like I'm going to be a total degenerate. I'm going to be confidently incorrect because of my shitty values, and then the instant the hypocrisy gets pointed out to me, I'm going to appeal to the humanity of other people. Again, this is coming from a scapegoat. I too am a human being. I've never been treated better than a fucking animal. Like literally. So if you want humanity, it's not going to come from me. Fuck you, Ben. You spread stagnation. You spread damaging things. You are completely hypocritical, and you are not a good person. Trying to keep then to the Mr. Beast episode. This is just on this section more just talking about being a YouTuber. And again, I'm trying to be a YouTuber. I know this is my 333rd YouTube video, a variety of content at the highest level possible. 41 subscribers, nice. Once you get kicked out of the group of people, no one will ever give you an opportunity. No one will ever support your businesses. No one will ever respect your family. Bill Kosiski, it's not fair you put your grandfather's death on us, but they haven't been listening to my health advice for the past 5, 6, 7 years. So if you neglect health for 5, 6, 7 years, that can cause real problems. Crimes of omission are still crimes, just like commission. So, again, good job, Bill Kosiski. Again, I'm sure you're a wannabe. Again, you're a distance Christian, right? This is a fucking hilarious thing. After people go from, kind of dogmatic or going to church and shit, now like Brett Weinstein and Eric Weinstein, now they're the proud atheists. You're just historically disrespectful. You're not doing anything good. You're not really doing anything bad. You're just like, right? There's a quote: "If Jesus came back, we would certainly crucify him again." Yeah, definitely, 100%. But on being a YouTuber, Mr. Beast, again, very popular channel. I'm sure anyone watching this would know who he is, or at least heard of him. But he said, I want to be the biggest YouTuber in 10 years. Probably will be. I'm going to put the market cap of Google behind me. So, but I would be the biggest YouTuber ever. Because these aren't videos you watch once or twice. This is the foundation of education. So every person that wants to learn Spanish is going to watch my Spanish videos. Everyone wants to learn history is going to watch my history videos. And Mr. Beast, you might be right. I'm taking my shit off of YouTube. 5 years of building his channel. His oldest videos are 9 years. And this is just mind-fucking to me. He's literally got probably like a little over 100 million subscribers over all of his channels. And he's been building his YouTube diligently. I looked up his oldest videos. They're about 9 years old. But diligently 4 to 5 years of actively putting out stuff. My videos are time-stamped at 3. Again, I think it's after it passes too. So I'm going on 3 to 4 years of daily YouTubing. And there was just no way to make money. And again, I hate the YouTube community. It's all one big box of fucking hamsters. Looking at the impulsive guests, you have Dan Belzerian, then you have fucking Howie Mandel, then you have Mr. Beast, and Mr. Beast has Logan Paul for the $1 Million Challenge, and then, Peter Thiel goes on the Hoover Institute, and then they go on Joe Rogan, and then they go on Lex Friedman, and then they go on Andrew Huberman. It's just a box of fucking hamsters, and you're all fucking terrible people. I heard Lex again, I've already said it, but I would stand up for anything or speak out at all costs. Lex, you are a fucking sheep, man. You're not a good person. You guys are not good people. But 5 years of building his channel versus my 3 to 4, it's just mind-fucking. I don't get how you would ever make money in a world where people fucking hate the best. If you were the best at something, people want you dead as opposed to safe. I don't need a big anything. I'm owed everything, but I just need to feel safe, and the safety comes from sustained financial income. I've done everything. I can't read books without listing theorems. I've read all history books. Now I write them. I make the videos now. Still be patient. Be patient with new ideas. Sean Carroll, 2017. Anything else from that one? They talk about just scientifically cryogenic freezing for the future. I doubt that's scientifically possible. Certainly you can slow down your metabolism. Certainly there are no closed systems. And more importantly than that, let's say you could cryogenically freeze yourself. Who the fuck would want to? I mean, maybe 5, 10 years. I still don't know why the fuck you would want to do that. But if you could cryogenically freeze yourself for 10,000 years, 5,000 years, you're probably going to wake up in a time frame and instantly kill yourself because you're not going to want to fuck anything. Biology and anatomy will change. You're not going to be sexually attracted to anything. You're like, wow, sweet. I just time traveled to a place where I fucking hate everything and I can't have sex anymore. So, wow, this is going to be fun. So I don't think cryogenic freezing is anything useful. Could be wrong, but doubt it. And then Mr. Beast talks about YouTubers being scared to share production process, him included. And it's like, yeah, no, again, I know Ross Smith. I'm a close friend away from him. He's got about 2.7 or somewhere in the 1.7 to 2 million subscribers. Makes videos with his grandma. Not a chance anybody would collaborate with me, which is fantastic. I'm not going to collaborate with anybody else. I'm going to put you motherfuckers out of business. Again, my second cousin, what the fuck, Brody Smith's got 2.4 million subscribers, and no one will ever help me, not a fucking chance at all. So, the Mr. Beast, good luck on being the biggest video content maker in 10 years. Publish my paper and you're done today. Well, not done, but you're going to be in second place. So Sanjay Gupta and Weed 6. Again, I thought these were done at Weed 3, but apparently, again, this is proof of stagnation. I hate Sanjay Gupta. I think he's completely scientifically illiterate. Again, the medical community is not scientific. They're just administrators that can't really make real money, but they have some authority, and society has given them a nice prestige. So fuck Sanjay Gupta and Weed 6. And again, just it's the same shit over and over again. A literal medical doctor watching empirical evidence work and then saying, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, not sure. Again, there's no way to convince people of anything. I'm the most prolific scientist that has ever lived, and I can't convince anybody of anything. So die off, I don't give a fuck. If your kid, cannabis is at least accessible enough that if you're not willing to break the law a little bit or just move, I don't care about your kid living, I don't give a fuck at all. Scientifically inconsistent, but fuck Sanjay Gupta and fuck the lazy fucking people that are too lazy to take care of their children. If you can't raise your kids, if you're not willing to do what it takes to raise your kids, and all it has to do is not deny science, they don't have them. Just don't. But again, I have it in alternating letters. You take cannabis? Again, he's following some diet. It's about autism with some autistic child in Texas. And again, Texas is one of the most hillbilly, trashy country or states. Again, just defiant for no reason. Just don't tell me what to do because freedom. Freedom for healthcare, though. Freedom to choose. Freedom just to respect science. Freedom is not science. Science is not like... Science is more important than freedom. Science supports freedom. But, again, it's just like, you take cannabis, it's like, stop with the stigma. This isn't like helpful CNN coverage. This is still damaging. Spreading fear and uncertainty and doubt, regardless of the word salad bullshit out of your mouth, you are going to teach people body language. And then they're going to take that body language, accept it, because that's what everyone does, and then go do the next dumb thing. And I told you the story about the Michael guy who goes, oh, none of that about cannabis. And again, you people can't open your mouth without denying science. Like, it's just not possible to occur. So shut the fuck up and listen, or die. At this point, die. But that was just atrocious. I hate this fuck, still seeing this shit. But again, I'll tell you another quick story about the doctors I know. I told you about Dr. Ross quite a bit. But just another, what did he told me, like I said, I told you the one about him being jealous of me. But in the same conversation, what else did he say? I think I already told you, again, he would, if I go enroll, then they would take me more seriously, as I'm literally offering like substantial fucking money to go enroll, or just to give a lecture. But we can't do that. Again, we can't support science anymore for real. But I'm sitting there, again, I wrote the Understanding Terrorism, which is really just a little bit of commentary from me and just homegrown stories from people. So I still think that's a good piece of work. I sold one unit of vibrational information theory so far to some dude in France. I've sold one manuscript of the fundamental unification of natural science. Good job, guys. But on the Understanding Terrorism publication, I was working on it, and you can see the other dude, Alex, again, good friends with Ross, and we're putting this together, and Ross and Alex live together. I'm down there one day, and Alex and I are putting this together. Again, this is a time when I'm completely scapegoated. Everyone in my community loves just to dump their bullshit on me. They feel responsibility for nothing. They're absolute beta male fucks, and now they're making a little bit of money, or again, they're getting to that economic standpoint where if you make that shitty decision, you can die off. You can do this, you can do that, and I didn't make any of those decisions. Sitting there on the couch, and Ross comes back again, probably from cleaning fucking test tubes or sucking some attending's dick, because he can't do his own science, can't make his own fucking money, so has to pump insecurity out everywhere. But he comes back, and again, I'm writing a publication called Understanding Terrorism, where literally 50% of the revenue, which is like zero, I've sold like $50 worth of that one, but that goes to helping people literally displaced from terrorism. A genuine social function, effort. A pay-it-forward type of effort. Ross comes back, me and Alex are sitting there working on it, and he goes, he says something like, I'm working hard while you're trying to do a get-rich-quick scheme. For writing a book. Ross, man, have you written any books? Where's your scientific publications? Where's your research? Where's your results? Doing science. But my get-rich-quick scheme. Yep, 20 years in the making, and I'm just getting just super fast, super quick. But then another story I thought of from the Understanding Terrorism. I remember telling my mom about it, and again my mom getting mad at me, and she literally said word for word, "You can't expect other people to fund you." She gets a paycheck from a public company, so someone's funding her, and it was a book about helping people. Just like, again, I love my mom, but it's like, sweet mom, thanks for the support, awesome. For helping people, trying to fucking help people. And so, in the same kind of vein, I just want to tell you another story about renewing my medical marijuana card. Again, Ohio doctors, any doctor is the most arrogant cunt fuck ever. They don't publish, they don't prove things, they just think they're important because they took on debt to go to school. And so again, I have to ask to take a plant, which is the weirdest shit ever, I've already said that. But I call in the doctor, and again, they're on there for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, but they're the gatekeeper. Mike DeWine says, I'm so fucking stupid. Here's a guy that went to medical school and's proven nothing. Here's a guy who can't stop listing proofs. Let's listen to the retard that's, again, literally probably 800 to 900 IQ points less than him. That's a good thing to do. And then so I get on there with this doctor, and it's for PTSD. That's what my prescription's for, which is 100% true. And I'm telling them again, because I'm just not, if I tell people what's going on, they don't believe it. They just don't. And I don't know how it's fucking possible at this point. But I'm a practical guy. I want to get my medical marijuana card renewed. And I'm telling them about that I was neglected and abused and traumatically throughout my childhood. And it's continued to this day. But he goes, so is this like for recent trauma? As a way to say fucking no. I didn't get his name, I didn't get his number, I don't give a fuck. But again, I've been tortured since childhood. Abandoned and tortured since fucking childhood. I wish I was dead every day of my life because I do not feel a part of this species. And there's nobody else that has ever felt that way. Certainly not recorded. And so, never, because of technology. And so there's nowhere for me to fucking go. And it's just disgusting. It feels so fucking disgusting. Is this for recent trauma? The last time I got harassed in my fucking house was 2 months ago. It's not stopped since being a child. Doubt it. I'm a medical doctor. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Fuck you. And fuck your family's health. Absolutely atrocious. Now just a couple more talking points, gonna wrap this one up in a whole other story episode, but those ones are the ones that are pretty relevant. But just a couple random things. Sample size for validity. And just again, this is from 60 Minutes. They talk about the sewage system in Alabama just being terrible. But sample size for scientific validity, I think there certainly should be some proportionality there. Like political polls will say 1,000 people are pretty representative of the actual outcomes. Which again, I think there's got to be. I don't know what they are, but there would be some limit of locality. How many people in this given area for biology? Maybe not ideology, but any genetic difference like white people with sickle cell, or maybe not sickle cell, but whatever I think it's sickle cell, or whatever. There's a disease where a lot of black people get it, and not white people. So it's that would be disproportionate, but I do think there would be a sample size for scientific validity as a limit. 1920s, the word tornado was not allowed. Again, just another example of censorship, but I have why. They get into censorship. And then Kentucky, and then the longest path ever, again talking about the southern Ohio and northern Kentucky tornado storms. But they say a phenomenon is too poorly understood. And I have tornadoes or spirals. Guess what the Navier-Stokes equations are kind of getting at? Complete systems, local systems, systems in rotation. How do we describe water? Look at eddy currents and look at tornadoes. It's the same shit. In the eye of the tornado, that's why there's no wind. It's not a part of the system. I've written about that. I've checked it since I've sent it to you. And then I just kind of wanted to sound off on the bombing of the Afghani children with no punishment. What a fucking disgrace the United States government is. What a disgrace. Whoever the chief of arms, whoever the war chief is, what an absolute fucking savage you are, man. No punishment. Not jail time, not death penalty, not execution. So let's do a thought experiment. Let's say, we don't have to think, the school shootings left and fucking right. Get your bulletproof vests on. I love seeing kids have bulletproof backpacks and all that shit. It's just great. Pow, 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 pow. Great education. But let's imagine somebody goes into a school and genuinely shoots up a bunch of people. Does a terrible, terrible thing. 100%. And then the police department responds by, they just rush really fast, really fucking stupid. They just leave Afghanistan. They just run around, complete fucking idiots, morons with a gun. And then the police go into a different school, and they get a call. The guy that just shot up the school, he's going into another school. And so they're going to go kill him. Obviously, they're going to shoot him down before that happens. And then they don't check the address of the school they're going to. They don't check who's in the school building. They don't check to see if it's verified from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sources. And then they just start slaughtering everybody. Because there's been a lot of shots that are going off. And then they just slaughter everybody. And turns out it wasn't the shooter. He wasn't there. And then you shot a bunch of fucking kids because you thought you heard gunshots. And then no punishment. No punishment for literally murdering children, blowing them up. What's the difference? That's a thought experiment. What's the difference between that and what the fuck happened in Afghanistan? I want written fucking responses from the president, from the chief of arms, from any cabinet member. And genuinely, I hope this happens here as a statement of free speech and as a world leader to another. I would declare war on this. Like if somebody blew up fucking children, took no responsibility, gave no punishment out whatsoever, that's a war crime, man. Like a real one. But here in America, yeah, we have Sandy Hook, kill a bunch of kids, no one gives a fuck. We should modify the Kobe Bryant race rules, the annual Kobe Bryant race, to, again, those people have to participate. Because if you can blow up children and, again, not fire them, not put them in jail for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. State-sponsored murder. The difference is imaginary lines. Brown guy over there with a turban on, well, blow up his kids. You can't take away the American's job, not his livelihood, not his shitty relationship with his spouse he's probably cheating on. Not those people. Not all of these hard workers we're talking about. America's a delusional shithole, man. It's beyond a delusional shithole. I rescinded my citizenship in 2018. This place is murderous. I can't enforce it. I can't leave. They're having a scapegoat. They blow up children. They blow up their own citizens multiple times. No one takes responsibility for anything, and they protect their shitty little careers. Your legacies are nothing. I'd say they're nothing, but you've hurt people. Like, tremendously hurt people. I've not met a single good human being. I've not met someone capable of accepting scientific proofing and behaving. So I just wanted to sound off a little more on the Afghani children. That's absolutely fucking disgusting. And then a couple last notes, getting close to Christmas, and we talked about historical proof in this one, but there were no religious people. By your actions, not my word. Again, religion, I don't know what the fuck that means. And just another quick story. At the same time, again, just recently, my mom came over. Hey mom, if you're watching. But good conversation, had a good time meeting up with my mom. And again, she's talking about, I don't know, just somewhat one of our extended family members, and she's like, they got COVID and they're really religious. And again, like, nothing offends me, but it's just sitting there, I don't know what that means. Like, if you were religious in any real way, you would be actively spreading the word of God, which would be literally sharing these videos on social media. But again, my family's not religious, my mom's not religious, but it's like, it's that next step to the defiant atheist, when it's really just a historical proof. The word religion means zero to me. But they're like really religious. I literally don't know what that could ever mean at this point. Again, but it's slightly insulting to deny my historical proof. Again, if you were the one to discover an artifact from 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, it's science. It's not like any part religious or like anything, but you do science at this level and people just get weirded out. But Christmas is coming up. Jesus was a translator. There was not a single person that has followed one thing he has done. Not a single fucking thing. So, regardless of what I say, me existing does not affect you behaving. It really doesn't. And so anyone that associates with religion, you're basically blasphemous and you're heretical and you're doing everything that would literally get you killed, and you're spreading false word of God, and you're celebrating time with your shitty family that you probably hate. So I hope everybody has a wonderful fucking Christmas. And I hope you learned something or didn't, or if you're living still or watching still, who gives a fuck? This is an absolute carnival. So thank you for watching Language Litigation Integration Part 69. Not my problem. Blow up a bunch of kids. Not my fucking problem.